Okay, today we are going to be demonstrating the back squat. The back squat is a core exercise that mainly works on the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads. And this is really an exercise that can benefit most athletes because it works on leg and hip mobility, and also helps full body mobility and stability, but more specifically sports such as soccer that involve kicking, or volleyball that involve jumping, and you really need to have the leg strength for those kinds of sports. But first you want to start with a warm-up, so preferably something with a little bit of cardio to get the heart rate going. So start by doing 2 sets of jumping jacks with 100 reps, and then moving forward to work on some opening up of the hips. Erica's going to demonstrate the walking Spider-Man with a hip lift and overhead reach. And so what she's going to do is start by lunging forward and then putting your arm inside your knee and pushing out a little bit to get a little bit of a groin stretch, and then keeping your hands on the floor. You're going to lift your hips up and back down all the way through, and then with your opposite arm you're going to reach overhead and follow your eyes up with your hand, and then come back down and step forward with your other leg, and then she would go on to do the other side as well. So like 2 sets of 5 on each side would be preferable for that. And then another thing that can be done to fire up the glute medius and hip abductors would be lateral walks with a band to have some resistance with that, and like 3 sets of 6 on each side there. And then also clams, which Erica's going to demonstrate. So she's going to lay on her side with her hips and knees at a 45-degree angle, and she's going to keep her heels together and lift her top knee up and back down, like so, and preferably we would do 3 sets of 6 on each leg. And then also another thing to lengthen out the hamstring would just be a seated hamstring stretch that you would hold for about 30 seconds each leg, and do each one about 3 times. But for beginners, before you want to go into doing the back squat, you should make sure that you have the fundamental basics down. So doing some more body weight movements, such as things that involve the hip hinge, keeping the chest up, and making sure that you have good ankle mobility. So you could start by doing something just like a body weight squat or a wall squat. So you stand against the wall about a foot away from it, and you're squatting so that none of your upper portion touches the wall, so it keeps you from leaning forward and keeping your hips back. So now Erica is going to demonstrate the back squat. You're going to start by, so you're going to squeeze your scapula together, and you're going to have your hands with a pronated grip, a close grip, and place the bar over top of your traps, and then keep your legs about shoulder width apart, and you can come up and take 1 step back, 1 leg and then the other. And what you're going to focus on here is you want to keep your elbows down, you want to keep your back straight, you want to keep your chest up, your hips back like you're sitting down in a chair, and then make sure that your knees don't come forward above your toes. Make sure that you're keeping your feet flat on the ground, and you can put some weight back in your heels. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and demonstrate that. Yeah, so she's going to come down all the way so that her thighs are parallel to the ground, or as comfortable as she feels, but basically until her glutes start to kind of curve under. And then you want to make sure also that you're driving your knees out to the side so that keeps them from buckling inward, and that helps by having your toes pointed a little slightly outward. And then also what you want to do, sorry if you'll do it again, as you go down you want to squeeze your butt when you get to the bottom and squeeze as you go all the way up so that you're following all the way up through the lift, and that will help to reinforce some hip extension. And so those are the basic things that you want to keep in mind while doing the squat. However, if for some reason you are not able to perform this with the correct technique, you should start off with doing some other things before you progress into this, such as, like I mentioned before, the wall squat or a goblet squat. So you would hold a dumbbell against your chest so that both the top and the bottom of it are touching you, and as you squat you want to make sure that it stays in contact with you so that you're not pitching forward. And Eric is going to demonstrate what it would look like to pitch forward while doing a back squat. So as she does this, her back is coming forward rather than keeping it straight up with her chest up, like so. So that would help because you know that the dumbbell was touching both the tops, so that it, because if you're pitching forward, then it would come forward. And then you could also do squats by heel blocking them up, and then if you cannot do the squat correctly, it could be some possible core deficiency. So you could do an exercise such as a bird dog to help work on your core stability and tightness there, or perhaps some stretching of the calf because you might have some tightness there, which would help give more ankle mobility. And so, yeah, that's the back squat.